This video is to help guide you with relieving menstrual pain or period pain. I'm Robin Murray. I'm a pelvic health physiotherapist, orthopedic physio, mom of 2, women's health consultant, and strength coach. And I will be guiding you through a practice today to help relieve period pain. As always, make sure to check in with a healthcare provider prior to engaging in any of my videos. And if you find my videos helpful, of course, subscribe, like, and if you would like to leave me a tip, you can find a link below. This will be about a 15-minute practice, and feel free to modify with anything that may feel better for you. This should not cause more pain. Let's get started. For this practice, you'll need some yoga blocks, some lotion, and a gorgeous ball or a deflated Pilates ball. Find yourself on your bed or lying on the floor with your legs supported and your head supported, your hands face down for grounding or palms up for receiving energy. Connect to your breath, focusing on where your rib cage meets the floor or the bed, breathing into the back of the rib cage and down into the back of the hips, and exhaling slowly. Breathing in for a count of 4 or 5, and exhaling for twice as long. As we inhale, the respiratory diaphragm that lives at the bottom of the rib cage descends into the abdomen, and the pelvic diaphragm also lets go and relaxes. Making the inhale and exhale smooth, staying present with yourself. Releasing any tension from your day. Taking hold of your Pilates ball now, you're going to place it underneath your pelvis and remove your bolster. Settle into the ball and find your pelvis on that ball. Reconnect with the breath we were just doing, breathing down into the ball. Starting to add some movement as you breathe in, gently arching the back and tilting the pelvis forward. And then as you exhale, rolling the pelvis under into a posterior pelvic tilt. Inhaling, slowly moving for a count of 5. Exhaling smoothly and going into posterior pelvic tilt, flattening the back for twice as long. Continue moving back and forth, letting go of any tension. Now we're going to inhale and push one side of the pelvis into the ball like we're flattening it to the ground, and then exhaling back to center. Inhaling into the back of the ribs, down into the pelvis, pressing the ball, and then exhaling back to center. And again, breathing in, pressing, and back to center. Oscillating back and forth here. Staying connected to breath for a few more breaths before we move on to abdominal massage. Taking the ball away, we're going to grab your lotion and expose your abdomen, placing lotion on your belly. I want you to just start by going in a clockwise direction and massaging your belly. Noticing if you're clenching through the jaw as you do this, if there's tension in the back body. I'm still on the ball here. Feel free to remove the ball. Rub your belly in a way that feels good, noticing any thoughts that come in. And you can simply stay here for the rest of the abdominal massage. But we can get a little bit more specific to the endopelvic fascia. Find your hip bone, place 2 hands, your fingertips, and gently press down into your pelvis. Start making small clockwise circles as you breathe in and out, reconnecting to the breath that we did in part 1. As you make these circles, notice any tension in the hips, any pain experience underneath the fingers. Try to play with the tissue to change the pain experience. Staying connected to breath. Noticing if you're clenching through the jaw, relaxing through the eyes. You'll see I moved up a little bit and have some tension in my body. I'm just letting go there. Now let's move to the middle, down by the pubic bone, sinking fingers in. This is called the bladder hat. It's a group of fascia that's around the bladder and the uterus. If you have an IUD, you might want to avoid this area and stay around the hip bones instead. Gently making clockwise circles, noticing any thoughts that come into the mind as you're working here. Moving just below the navel. And noticing any pain feedback that occurs. Noticing, are you still connected to your breath? Are you getting distracted? Try to stay present with yourself. We've moved over to the left hip bone now, making gentle circles. Staying connected to breath, being curious about sensations, and moving a little higher here. So starting with the right hip bone, then going center, then left. But of course, make this your own practice. This is just a guide. We're going to finish off with an I love you massage. So the I love you massage, we start on the right side of the hip bone, moving up towards the right rib cage, applying quite a bit of pressure, but go by comfort. This is where your ascending colon is, and this can be really sensitized during our menstrual cycle. Gentle, kind strokes, but adding firm pressure here. Going across the transverse colon, coming up from the hip bone, and then across the bottom of the rib cage there. Notice any tender spots. Are you still breathing? Or have you lost connection to your breath? How is your jaw? Couple more here before we do the descending colon. Breathing in deeply, and feel free to remove that ball at any time if you're on the ball. I want to remove the ball now, so I'm going to put it to the side. And moving to the descending colon and a few more. Going down towards the left hip. So from the top of the left rib cage down towards the left hip. Staying connected to breath, trying not to rush. Easy to do. Wonderful work. We're going to move on to some more movements here. So grabbing your ball, placing it underneath the pelvis, or you can simply do this on the floor. We're going to go into a half happy baby. Reconnecting to breath. You can, of course, just put the hands behind the leg or behind the knee if that's more comfortable. You'll see my head is supported again here. Other foot is firmly planted on the ground. We're connecting for 10 breaths here. So settle into your body and return to your inhale, and then that exhale twice as long as the inhale. Staying present. Beautiful work. Settling into body. Releasing the foot, moving the pelvis around, especially if you're on that ball. And we'll go to the other side, grabbing a hold of the foot, other foot is planted. Feel free to do this without the ball, but sometimes having the hips elevated during our menstrual cycle can just add a little bit of fluid lavage out of the pelvis, a little bit of fluid drainage, which helps with symptoms. And that biofeedback to the back of the pelvis can help with pain. Staying connected to breath in and exhale smoothly. Feel free on your exhale to do a gentle pelvic floor activation. Sometimes this can feel really good. Taking the ball away, we're going to grab our blocks and we're going to go into a runner's lunge. So you can put the pillow underneath the knee. That can feel good. Grab the blocks and we're going to go into a runner's lunge. I'm staying high here. Some people might want to get deeper onto their forearms on the blocks or even down to the ground. We're opening up the front of the hip, the front of the fascial chains, and find your breath again. Breathing into that back body, and that exhale is smooth and long. Staying here for 10 breaths. You're over halfway done this practice. Stay present with yourself. Beautiful work. Keeping chest open. You can activate the back glute and then let it go, which can help release tension in the back or in the front of the pelvis. Beautiful. I'm going to set up to the other side here, going into your lunge, pressing forward into that pelvis, opening that chest up, noticing if this side feels different than the other side. My right side is definitely more restricted than my left. It's okay to have those differences side to side. Just take note. Finding your breath here. And again, you can do those contract, relax with the glute of the side of the back leg. So squeezing the glute on and then off can help open up the front of that hip. Beautiful work. Few more breaths here. Wonderful. We're going to grab our Pilates or Courgeous ball again and put your pillow in front of you. We're going to do another endo pelvic fascial release. I want you to put the ball at the front of your right hip, and you can stay on your forearms if this is enough. For some people, this will just be way too much for day one. Feel free to skip this section if you're saying to yourself, Robin, I cannot do this with the Courgeous ball. If you are able, lie all the way down as I'm showing here, and you'll see I'm rocking my hips side to side. Connect with your breath, notice your jaw, and try to relax into that Courgeous ball. This allows biofeedback to the endopelvic fascia, allows to desensitize. Let's move to the left hip, allows to move fluid around. Again, you can stay on your forearms if coming all the way down is just too much, especially if you've had a cesarean. Now, as I said, if you have an IUD, you want to keep these on the front of the hips. You don't want to put them right in the center as I'm about to do, just because you don't want anything to dislodge that IUD. Usually people with IUDs don't have period pain, but sometimes they do. So you can even put this on the front of the thighs or higher up near the rib cage, if that feels good to do so. If you have issues with gallstones, you might not want to put it right on your gallbladder. I'm going to move it to the center now, right at that bladder hat. Again, you can stay on your forearms, or you can just settle right in and connect to that breath. If anything does not feel right, just take it at your own pace. Today I'm craving a little bit more abdominal fascial movement. So you can see I moved that ball up a little bit and I popped onto my forearms. Just a little bit more visceral love rather than the bladder hat. And you can see I'm moving quite a bit. Give yourself permission to play with the ball. We're going to remove the gorgeous ball now and go into a contract, relax cobra. So relax your pelvis here, and then you're going to press down into the ground for 3, 2, 1, and then let go. Breath in, exhale, push that ground away with your elbows for 3, 2, 1, then let go. Keep doing this push on and off to help relax through the pelvis and the front of the core. Those elbow pushes help that deep core turn on and off. That can release tension. Few more. Wonderful. Let's roll onto our back here. You're going to grab your blocks, have them close, and give your knees a hug. Roll side to side. Have some fun with it. Not too serious. Having a good time. Find your breath. Then grab your block. You can just have one block on the low end, or if you want a little bit more exposure of that pelvis, let's put the blocks on the higher end and settle in. You can bring the knees out to the side if that feels good, or even bring the knees in, or just have them neutral. Whatever feels good for you today. Hands up for receiving, down for grounding. Feel free to just have the blocks removed for the end of practice here. Connecting to breath, noticing any difference in the body from the beginning of practice to the end. Finding that slow exhale, finding your hands on the ground, your feet on the ground. Finding gratitude that you took this time for yourself today to nurture yourself, leading into your menstrual cycle or during your menstrual cycle. And knowing that you can return to this practice at any time of your cycle. It doesn't just have to be during your menstrual phase. It's all drops in the bucket towards downshifting that nervous system into safety. Taking a few more breaths here with me, resisting the urge to get up and move. Removing the blocks. Finding your pelvis on the floor. Moving your body in any way that feels good, giving your knees a hug. Amazing work. Amazing. I hope you found that practice helpful. If anything did not feel okay during that, of course, reach out to a pelvic health physiotherapist. You can show them this video, what didn't feel okay, and they can help guide you of the next best steps. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. Feel free to leave me a tip below if you would like to help support the work that I am doing. Until next time, have an amazing week and awesome work.